While some South American countries continue to grapple with incessant economic, political, and social crises, Paraguay is emerging as a beacon of stability in the region. The Paraguayan government has been fostering favorable conditions for immigration and investment in its growing market. We had the opportunity to speak with Rebeca, who is building her business by assisting foreigners who have relocated to the country. She shared insights about the economic climate and the opportunities available to immigrants who choose to start their own ventures in Paraguay. Could you provide some insight into the places you have experienced in your life?
Well, I was born in Paraguay, in Asunción, and I live in Encarnación now, but I'm originally from Asunción. And I went to Germany when I was 1.5 years old, and I lived in Germany for 10 years. And then we came back to Paraguay, and to Asunción, and then I went to the US, to Chicago when I was 19 years old, and I came back to Paraguay when I was 30, and I have been here in Paraguay ever since. And I moved to Encarnación a year and a half ago.
How many languages do you know?
I speak almost 4 languages. I speak Spanish very well. I speak English very well. I have a mother tongue German that I'm working on improving, and I have a basic Portuguese.
Besides the passport of Paraguay, do you have another citizenship?
I actually have a German passport. My citizenship is German.
You could live in the USA and Europe and other places. Why Paraguay?
I feel a lot of empathy for immigrants because I have been an immigrant all my life. In Germany, when I was a little girl, I was the girl from Paraguay, and when I came back to Paraguay, I was the girl from Germany. And when I went to the US, I was the girl from either the young lady from Paraguay or Germany. And now I live here in Paraguay, and people tell me that I speak very good Spanish. So I feel a lot of empathy for immigrants. And I have a business that is called Alive Group, and the mission of Alive is to help immigrants into a life in Paraguay.
What services do you provide for expats?
Well, Alive Group, trying to pursue the mission of helping immigrants into a life in Paraguay, develops, first of all, real estate services. It's the first thing immigrants need is a house to live in. Then we have real estate developments, which is for a long-term period, either buying property or buying land and developing property. We have business and legal consulting services to help immigrants engage in business and economic activities so they can also have an income for themselves, and also legal aspects such as immigration or any other aspects that they might need to have their residency in Paraguay. And finally, there is a cultural aspect where Alive offers classes of languages, Spanish for immigrants, English for locals, and we are also going to include German classes next month. So those are the 5 branches of Alive Group.
Do you like working with children?
Sure. Children have when it comes to learning a language, children don't have the barriers that adults have. I like teaching children languages because they absorb the knowledge in a different way. I wish we adults could also learn like little children. They just open their mind and they learn, and also because we can have a lot of game activities. I wish we could also have with adults. Like we play Uno, or we draw, or we keep track of points, and a lot of fun. I think that we adults, when I'm teaching children a language, the one learning is me, because I see that we all adults should be like children, believing we can learn everything and believing we can do everything.
From which countries do your clients originate?
I have confidentiality agreements with my customers, so I can't really talk about specifics. But I can tell you that I have customers from the US, I have customers from Canada, I have customers from Russia. The Russians have nicely trusted me and welcomed me into their culture. I'm happy about that. I have German customers, I have Venezuelan customers, I have Chinese customers, I have Dutch customers, and I think that sums it for now.
How has the emigration trend evolved in recent times?
No, it was not always like that. It has increased, though I can say that in Paraguay, and especially the department of Itapúa, has been a destination for immigrants for a very long time. I am speaking over 150 years ago it started. And here in Itapúa we have German colonies, we have Ukrainian colonies, we have German colonies, we have Japanese colonies, and it stopped for a while, but now there are many, many immigrants arriving from Russia, from other countries in Europe, and also from Venezuela, and US and Canada also from North America.
What are the benefits and advantages that Paraguay offers as a destination?
Well, Paraguay has many advantages. Besides being a very beautiful country, Paraguay offers a lot of economic stability, political stability. It is relatively safe compared to other countries in South America. The cost of living is not as expensive as other countries, and the government supports immigration a lot, both with the immigration requirements to acquire residency and business facilities or business help for foreign investments.
What specific avenues exist for emigrants to establish and grow their businesses in Paraguay?
Well, right now there is a facility with a business structure which is pretty new. It's called EAS. With this EAS, immigrants can open the company and invest money even before acquiring their cédula with passport. A small percentage of the actions or the shares of the company have to be in the name of a resident or citizen. But it is set up for immigrants to invest money in the country with ease and facility. This type of business requires no deposit in the bank to open, and it's opened pretty easily. It's done in less than a month.
How challenging is the process of starting a business in Paraguay once you have arrived?
With this structure, it's relatively easy. It's just prepare the business project, prepare the business documents, and open the business. It's not very difficult for this type of structure. For other business structures, it is a little bit more complicated, but still doable. The only one that can be opened with passport and no cédula is the EAS. But once the immigrant has a cédula, can open any type of business, including the EAS.
Can you identify the sectors or domains with potential for business development in Paraguay?
As a real estate agent, I have to say though, that with the high immigration rate in Paraguay right now, there already is a housing problem. We need more apartments, we need more houses, we need more private neighborhoods. So every day I see this need, and though we have options, sometimes the real estate options that we have in Paraguay are not according to the European standards or the North American standards. So I do see a huge business investment opportunity when it comes to real estate development. Though Paraguay is a pretty secure country, it's not 100% safe. But of course, there are other investment opportunities in the restaurant business, in the education business, in the entertainment business that we don't have a lot of options. Of course, supermarkets and import wholesale, logistics, though all of these areas are pretty much covered. So I would look at what is changing fast and dynamically, and that is immigration. And with immigration, three basic things come, or four. We have a higher need for housing. We have a higher need for education. We have a higher need for entertainment options. And we have a higher need for the food industry, restaurants, and more options. So those will be the four categories that I will identify as promising to supply the demand of immigrants. But of course, there are other types of businesses that can be done in Paraguay that are not necessarily tailored to suit the immigration demand.
Is it possible to start a business in Paraguay with a minimum amount of $50,000 to $100,000?
Depending on the line of business, yes, it is completely feasible. A restaurant, for example, a small restaurant can be started with less than $50,000. A business in hotel or hostel can be done, depending on if the property is rented, can be done with less than $50,000. If the property is purchased, it's with more. If a person wants to invest in real estate, they can find small lotes, standard 360 square meter lotes for $12,000, or they can buy hectares for, depending on the area, they can buy it for $20,000 or more. So it is, yes, 50,000 to 100K is enough money to start a very good, solid business in Paraguay, yes.
How do you foresee the prospects for development unfolding in the future?
Well, some new business partners are coming from a business in Uruguay, and they will be giving advice on how to make investments worldwide from Paraguay. They will talk about opening investment accounts in Paraguay, in the United States, in Asia, in Europe. They will talk about how to move money around from countries, Russia, Germany, US, any country. Also, they will talk about how to include cryptocurrency. And we will be presenting different business structures to invest from here, from Paraguay, into the world. And how to make this investment liquefiable very fast.
We genuinely appreciate your support and for staying tuned till the end. Liking and subscribing to our channel would mean a lot to us. It motivates us to continue producing engaging content about Paraguay.